Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So She-Hulk is a bit of a mystery, right? I'm doing 2 episodes today. It doesn't take long. They're paper thin, right? It doesn't take long at all. She-Hulk is a bit of a mystery. Like, what were they thinking? Fair question. What on earth were they thinking? And it's beyond me, right? But it's not. I think I've worked it out. I think these 2 episodes we're about to review here explains the whole thing. Explains what's going on. Especially the second episode, right? Firstly, the people writing the show, these exclusively women writing the show, are all miserable, right? They're all single. They're all miserable. They all feel empty and worthless in life, right? And they don't know why they feel empty and worthless in life. The reason they feel empty and worthless in life is because modern day feminism is nothing about equality and women's rights whatsoever. It's about hating men. And look, the bottom line is when you get away from like basic human sociological nature of like men and women generally speaking quite liking each other, when you get away from that and you replace it with meaningless angry shit, which is what modern day feminism is, meaningless, hateful, angry shit, you end up with a life that's empty and awful. Really, that's really the bottom line. Why is it there's a cultural war? Because one half of the culture are insane children that don't know that cutting their tits off will eventually, cutting their tits off as children will eventually lead them to be a bit sad, right? Their decision making is freaking awful. You know, I've friends who are big Biden supporters, because I think they just hated Trump, but they're big Biden supporters, and they're like lamenting that, oh, wouldn't it be great to get Rudy Giuliani back? I mean, not like now, he's crazy now, obviously. And they all lament the politics that they've chosen. They all lament the choices that they've chosen, which is what the makers of She-Hulk are. They have miserable, empty, meaningless lives because they believe the lies of third wave, fourth wave feminism, which has just made people miserable. It just made them miserable, right? So that's the first thing, and it comes across very, very clearly in the episode 6. Episode 7, though, really gets more deeply into it. They hate superheroes, right? Why do they hate superheroes? Because they're big and good looking and athletic, right? And they make them feel inferior. Right, when you see like the women with huge boobs, a fantastic figure in spandex in a superhero comic, and they don't look like that, they feel bad, right? They feel bad, they feel diminished, they feel lesser, right? Not really understanding why there are attractive people in superhero comics, right? They hate it. They actually hate and they have a whole monologue in episode 7 where she talks about how, oh, you had a friend in school who was prettier than you, got more attention, was better than you. Now I'm that person. They hate superheroes. They hate success. They hate work. They hate everything that is good, and they wonder why they've got a show that is not landing in any way, shape, or form. It's not landing because it's written from a point of view of people with miserable lives trying to get you to be miserable with them. Don't listen to them. Don't be miserable with them. Be happy. Have a normative life. Look, for most people are heterosexual. I don't really care what your sexuality is, but like monogamy, that makes you happy. Sacrifice makes you happy, right? Going along with your basic hardwired in biological drives. That makes you happy. Going against it all makes you miserable, which, within a nice little segue, is exactly what She-Hulk does. It makes people miserable. No one's interested in watching this. Look, it's done. Look, I watch it back to back with not Game of Thrones, with Lord of the Rings, which is truly awful. And this is like Shakespeare compared to Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, right? It's still unwatchable crap, right? It's unwatchable crap, failing horribly. How do we know it's failing horribly? That the MCU has wheeled out Hugh Jackman, bringing him back as Wolverine, right? For a Deadpool movie. Desperate to make some money, because everything else has been an absolute complete failure, other than Spider-Man No Way Home, which was not connected in any way to the MCU Phase 4, the MCU Phase 4, which is not going down very well. Well, what a shock. In fact, the MCU Phase 4 is exactly what they did in comics in around 2016, right? It's exactly how comics went, and it had exactly the same effect. Everybody stopped reading comics. Everybody stopped watching Marvel stuff. They're not movies anymore. They are widgets for the Disney streaming service. And they're just pointless. I don't know why they even put the money into making them. Is it to feel good about themselves? I don't know. I do not. I mean, maybe it's to own men, the white male patriarchy. Again, all the lies that you believe in, they're all nonsense, and that's what's making you miserable, right? Not men, not the patriarchy. None of those things exist. It's you. You are the ones making yourself miserable. You idiot writers of She-Hulk. Anyway, with that said, let's get into it, and let's do a review of two absolutely turgid episodes of this unwatchable piece of shit. Now, with an intro like that, how could you refuse? Like, share, subscribe. That's very, very good. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Sign up my Substack. Sign up my paid Substack. This month on my paid Substack, because I didn't give out anything last month, I felt really bad. I'm giving out a digital copy of this book, The Imperium, a love letter to telefancy of the 1960s. $5. Can't say better than that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. All the things are fantastic. Now let me hand over to me from my live stream when I reviewed this piece of shit last night. Okay, she get first. MCU was good once, now it's shit. MCU shit now. She gets invited to a wedding, right? To be a bridesmaid, and it's they say I'm wearing this, not that suit that I got from the guy last week. Who gives a shit? She hulks out, hi, and the bride. Oh, fine, we're up there. And the bride's like, do you mind not being so Hulk because you're hotter than me, right? I said, fine, can you de-Hulk? And it's like, I'm just Jen this week, attorney at law. By the way, did you see the thing they put out on Twitter saying, sorry, incels? Darling, this whole show is about you being an incel, right? This whole show is about your inability. And I'm talking to the writers, your inability to have a relationship with anyone, right? You are involuntary celibate. I have children. Okay, and a wife, and we're not the incels in this. This is clearly you crying that men aren't flocking to you, right? Especially in the next episode. So it's a shit wedding. Meanwhile, B plot. It's just annoying. This guy is a mortal, and he keeps dying and changing identities. I think to get out of his marriages, right? The eternal man. So he's being sued by all these people. He's got Jen's colleague representing him, who's very hot. And then when they start questioning on it, he jumps out the window, right? And then runs away. Okay. Meanwhile, so she's de-hulked and not hot at all, right? You know, you could actually pick yourself up a little bit. Maybe put a push-up bra on. I don't know, put some makeup on. You don't have to look like. I mean, you know. I understand you're not She-Hulk right now. You could put heels on. There's lots you could do to make yourself look more attractive. But you're like, well, why would I? I am woman. Hear me. I mean, like, I don't understand. No, I really don't. Right? I really, really don't. But okay, fine. So her friend who's getting married is like this super, super, super cunt, right? Super cunt, and she's like, can you go and clean up? And then, then Tatiana shows up, and she's with that guy, and it's just all just done to like mess with her, right? So she goes out, and then this guy shows up, says, hi, I'm perfect, right? And I'm kind of into you, right? And they exchange numbers, and she asks them to come and clean up more, right? There you go. So he's with B-Plot. These are always ex-wives and lovers. And she's very hot. I don't know who she is, but she's very hot. And she is too annoying to be hot, unfortunately. They introduced this site called Intelligentsia, which is about a right-wing meme site about She-Hulk, right? Which is nonsense. And she gets drunk at a wedding. And it turns out the woman's marrying a puppy. Like, what? I don't understand.
this is her groom. She's marrying her puppy, so she can't get a relationship either, right? This goes on forever, and he's like, okay, you get my Apple shares I got in 1982. That should cover everything. Cash bar, drinks a lot, and drinks a lot more, and she's stunning and brave and works everything out, and everybody gets what they want because she's the bestest ever. And girl power, oh, girl power, baby. Hi, I'm good looking man. Let's take your number. She throws up, and then Tatiana shows up. They start to have a fight, and I can't remember. So she hulks out and then fights her, right? And that's basically it. Tatiana looks bad. Oh no, my teeth are knocked out. And is this the person getting married is being upstaged? Said, oh, you're She-Hulk here. I'm so happy. This is her brother or something, isn't it? Who this loser, who knows? Oh, white man bad. White man so bad. Yeah, this is the right-wing meme site. And they become members to, and you get, corporate memes, Gary called this. Guilty of dressing like a man. Like, none of this is funny. When you are Hulk, but you still dumb. Like, no. None of these would go, right? None of these would ever work, right? And so she goes and tells She-Hulk about it, Jennifer about it, even though the hot lawyer says, no, don't tell her, just freak her out. Goes and tells her about it. Talks a little bit more with this guy, and people are trying to get samples of her blood, right? The end. Blimey, what's that, 5 minutes? That was the whole episode, right? That was the whole episode. She gets drunk at a party. Smacks Tatiana in the face. That's it, right? About absolutely nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. That's the whole episode. I'm not missing anything out. Fine. So let's do the next episode, right? We'll do them back to back. We're totally up to date. Remember when it was all good? Yeah. Yes. Oh no. Look at that. Oh, it's all gone to shit. Look at that. Well, don't try and sneak in, Girl Thorpe, darling. Yes, you stand out. You're like a condom machine in the Vatican, you cunt. Really? Come on. Marvel, yay! Let's destroy it. So she's dating this guy, and he's just perfect, bestest ever. Picks up, hi, date, yay! They text while she's at work, and oh, this is nice. Idea for food truck, fries dipped in a milkshake. You in? Yay! And they smile. They go on another day, and they nearly make out, which is no. Let's just go home. What are you doing Thursday? And they go out on a third day. And this time, they could just make out. No, come on, let's go fuck each other. I mean, like, what? Wait a minute. There's some, middle ground, isn't there? So next day she wakes up, he's gone. Oh, I can't stop smiling. What you up to? And then he doesn't. He goes, right? Doesn't reply, right? He goes, still ghosting her. Then the Abominations parole officer gives him a call. Say he's got his tag got set off. Right, we got to go check it out. You got to come with me, be security. Like, fine, I got nothing else to do. I'm just keep watching it. So she goes out into the country, just a reception. And it's like, when she gets there, he's just totally fine, right? His thing is fine. He says, I might have hit an electric fence while saving my favorite chicken. Right? So what's your favorite chicken? No, I'm glad I did, though. He's like, I love that chicken. And he's just a totally mellow guy. Tim Roth is awesome in everything, right? He elevates everything just by being in it. And they need it because this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing, right? Then you've got this pig guy, bull guy, and a matador superhero. They start fighting each other, and it wrecks a car. Now, well, I'll remind you right now, They say sorry, and so it's part of their treatment. So she's like waiting for them to come, right? Can't you just Hulk out and jump? Like, she wants to be back wherever she wants for 10 minutes. But no, fine. So she's forced to go to really his, somehow he can afford all this. I don't know how. And said, yeah, you should go and hang out and sweat in the yurt. And he's like, no, I'm not interested. I'm just looking for no service to see if this guy's replied to me, because that's all I care about. And she walks into this group therapy session. That guy's a porcupine. This is a vampire. And he's a matador, not really matador. And she finally tries to find some clita, some reception. And this, again, this would all be cute, right? If it was done by James Gunn, right? But it's like, it's just like ways of this. It shows you what it devolves in. Ways of hating men because they hate themselves. This show is written by people who hate themselves, and they hate men. They blame it. So this guy walks in. I have no idea who he is, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's this guy." I'm like, "Who?" And he doesn't even look the fucking same. Look at him. His hair's all tied back now. No, now he was a guy who got the super thing and tried to attack her. And she's like, Superman. And like, how dare you? And she nearly tries to murder him, right? This is attempted murder. Throws him across the room. They're like, well, you can't do that. Yeah, I can. I'm a woman. We've taken too much. So if I want to murder someone because somebody whistled at some other woman once, and we're going to find out why she's so angry soon. That's what this episode's about, right? So no, you got to sit in the chair and he's like, why are you trying to murder me? Right? So we don't really find out what his deal is, but she has to come into group and she talks about it and he doesn't want to open up. And he's like, look, you're pretty addicted to that phone, right? What's up with that? Why didn't you talk about it? So basically she says, again, this guy won't take his mask off, porcupine. But basically, she says, it's because he got to know me as Jen, right? Everybody likes, in school, you always have a friend who's better looking at you, more athletic, that gets all the attention, and now I'm that person, right? I am that person. And it talks about her self-loathing, right, and how much she hates superheroes because they made them feel bad when they were little girls, right? This is what's wrong with this show. They hate the fucking genre because it makes them feel inadequate, right? And they're like, well, and basically they talk her into like, they say, look, you got to delete this guy from the phone, and they're like, and that's basically the therapy session, right? And so she decides, I think at some point, to delete. She talks about how she replied, and it's like, I said, now you should be able to feel fine with just being Jen, right? You two, and she turns to Jen and she accepts herself, and yay, because this is superheroes now, right? Not this. This made them feel bad, right? Oh no, but this is us now. Doesn't matter. Nobody wants to see this. People only wanted to see that, but doesn't matter. Yay, I'm a big actor that's been put in this because you can't carry it because you're awful, right? And they're like, yay. And so he tries to take his porcupine mask off and they go, oh, you smell awful. You keep keeping that on. Oh, no, men are bad. So she deletes the contact. So good for you, right? And then she goes to the yurt. She comes out and says, I feel much better. Yay, you're all the best as ever. I could just jump over, but no. And now they all leave, right? I can't remember what they say, but who gives a shit, right? And they head off. Yay, I feel so fulfilled. Meanwhile, 3 days earlier, we find out that after they slept with each other, he cloned her phone. It is cloning the phone, right? Let's zoom in. Copied her phone. Hang on. Yeah, he copied her phone and left. It was clearly a plant, right? and walks out and takes a picture of her, right, naked. Bit shitty. He's got the blood and formula. Thumbs up. So he's working for bad guys. The end. Finally, we're done. Oh, I mean, what an inconsequential piece of shit. Right? I don't think that's the best way to describe it. What an inconsequential piece of actual excrement.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.